Loose Women star Denise Welch locked horns with her co-star Janet Street Porter as they discussed the new police legislation Yvette Cooper announced this week. Loose Women's presenter Denise Welch clashed with her co-star Janet Street Porter over Yvette Cooper's latest legislation. During Tuesday's visit, February 25, to the ITV studios, Ruth Langsford welcomed viewers back to the afternoon to the daytime show alongside her panelists, Janet, Denise, and Colleen Nolan. The panel discussed some of the biggest stories hitting the headlines, which included the rise in energy price cap, and the call for improvements to be made by tech giants to improve protection from abuse online. Minutes into the hour-long show, the team discussed the Home Secretary's new legislation which will give officers enhanced powers against theft of mobile phones. This will mean police will no longer needing a warrant to search properties where stolen items have been electronically geolocated. Despite the presenters unanimously agreeing with the change in the law, Denise and Janet locked horns over whether or not the policy will be too much work for officials to carry out up and down the country. After discussing the new changes, Denise asked whether or not Brits should consider emigrating to another country where there are better laws in place to protect against street criminals and violence. It was at this point that Janet stood her ground and slammed the broadcaster for her controversial suggestion. She fumed, "You would flee a country which does have a democratic tradition and does have free speech and does respect human rights and rush to a place where they are like by the by." Denise argued, "In this country we respect the criminals' human rights more than the blooming victims' human rights," which received a round of applause from the live audience. Janet insisted, "But I come back to my point. Yes, people are depressed and people do feel let down by Labour, but the way to change it is to get elected and change it yourself and stop winging." Frustrated with her argument, Denise erupted, "Well, why don't you go be Prime Minister? I've said it before," as the audience cheered for her suggestion. Ruth echoed, "Janet for Prime Minister, everybody, you definitely get my vote." It comes after Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, is on the verge of fulfilling her long-held aspiration of becoming a television presenter. Sources close to the Duchess have confirmed that she is currently in discussions with the show's producers to join the roster of presenters and panelists, which features a rotating team of 15 high-profile women. In anticipation of a permanent role, Sarah is set to take part in a full week of trial presenting. This follows her previous successful guest appearances on the show, where she highlighted her charitable initiatives and connected with viewers on a personal level.